Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Much appreciated you tuning in for today's video. And we're going to have a discussion today on finesse swim baits. And I've got 3 different models that I'm going to show you here. My favorite ones. I'm sort of going to give you guys some juice on when to fish and what to look for, that type of stuff. They're a lot different than traditional swim baits. I mean, not traditional, but to other categories, because when you're talking about swim baits, you're talking about a broad range. You're talking about little finessey things like I'm talking about, all the way up to these magnum swim baits. So it's a big lure category, but today I specifically want to talk about the finesse swim baits that works really good this time of year. Real quick, just a couple different things. If you guys are interested in any of these swim baits I'm talking about, or the heads, you can get them at Bait Works here in Springfield, Missouri, or on the online store. I'll include a link in the description of this video, and it's a great way to support the channel if you want to order them through that link. And also, just want to remind you guys, I finally got a TikTok account going up. So if you guys are interested in following me on TikTok, that'd be much appreciated. I'll include the link in the description also, but basically they just type in at intuitive_fishing, and you can get on the TikTok account. Much appreciated there. Okay guys, let's get into the finesse swim baits here. And like I said, we've talked about these in the past. We'll talk about them in the future. But like any other thing, every one of these lure categories and every one of these baits that we talk about, there's windows of time during the year that they really excel. And for the finesse swim baits, in my opinion, they're sort of, I consider them a cold water bait. Now, I like them in the winter time and I like them in the pre-spawn, but for the rest of the time of year, not so much. You can catch fish on them all year long, but normally you can't catch good fish on them. Most of the time, the finesse swim baits produce the quality fish when the water temperature is between, like, say 40 to low 50s, in that range right there. We're sort of starting to get on the tail end of that low 50s. I mean, it's still below 50s in a bunch of parts of the country, but over the next few weeks we're going to be getting out of it. But this is one of my favorite times of year to fish a finesse swim bait. So I'm going to show you guys the 3 different finesse swim baits that I fish. I fish 3 different ones. The first one is the Megabass Spark Shad. This is the 3-inch version. This thing is rapidly becoming one of the top lures out there amongst the pros. I mean, lots of big smallmouth get caught on this thing. It's got a flat back on it. It's like the Spark Shads, all the Spark Shad models, the 3, 4, or 5-inch models, they all look like this. Flat back on it, paddle tail on there, a lot of different colors, you know, eyes on the side there. The next one is like, this is probably the most popular model in the country. This is like the 2.5-inch Kitech. It's the rib swim bait, very popular model. And there's a lot of knockoffs on this. I think Bass Pro makes a knockoff, but the Kitech was the original one. This is a fish catching bait. It still is. It gets fished a lot. So some of these other swim baits that the fish haven't seen maybe start producing a little bit better, but this is like probably the most popular one here, 2.5-inch model. There you can see it up against the 3-inch Spark Shad. And the next one is the 3-inch Megabass Hasdong Shad. This is a true finesse model. You can see how thin it is across the back there. And here's a size comparison to the Spark Shad next to it. You can see a back comparison, quite a bit narrower. And then here's the up against the 2.5-inch Kitech. So these are the finesse ones here. So anyway, guys, on all 3 models here, I fish one head. This is absolutely my favorite head. This is the Megabass Okashira jig head. This is the original fish head jig head. It's been knocked off a bunch. Megabass initially made it many years ago. And initially, when they made the Okashira head, the head design has remained the same, but in the past, they had a hook that was really a light wire small hook. It was designed for a real small bait, but they've really beefed it up here. This is a nano-coated, super stiff hook with a keeper on it. This is just like one of the most awesome hooks you can have on a swim bait here. So basically, the way I rig it, it's nice and simple. You know, just come in like this. Well, I'll show you one day. We've talked about this before. On the 3-inch Spark Shad, guys, I don't like the eyes on there because the jig head has a set of eyes too. So normally what I'll do is I'll pop the eyes off of it, and sometimes I'll just bite it down. You guys have probably seen me that, but sometimes I'll bite it down. But I don't really care for having 4 set of eyes on the bait, so you know, I'll put it in like that. It's just a really deadly little swim bait for suspended fish, you know, on points and stuff like that. And then I'll rig the others twos up and show you. This is the Kitech version. It's always important, guys. We talked about this before. When you rig these things up, make sure you take the time and get them on straight. They got to get on straight. Not only do you have to get them in line straight with the hook, but you need to get them where the bait is straight. You don't want like this thing being up at a crooked angle like this. You want it perfectly straight. That's the Kitech version. And then finally the Hasdong Shad, which is a true finesse version. Now this one's a little bit harder to rig because it's so narrow. Take that off of there. Let me take the eyes off real quick. This one right here, this thing doesn't weigh much at all, so it's a little bit more difficult to cast. I like to fish it when it's either calm out or with the wind. But that's the Hasdong Shad look right there. Get it straight like that, a little bit narrower side on there. So anyway, guys, these three right here, these are clear water baits. Normally I don't fish them much unless the water visibility has at least 3 foot of visibility. I like 3 to maybe 7 foot of visibility for it. Another thing you're going to find out about these swim baits is in the pre-spawn like this, I catch a lot of fish on them, fishing them in the middle of coves, like down the guts of the coves, main lake points, secondary points. The fish are going to be suspended on this, maybe a little bit shallower. So what I'll do is I'll get out there on those points, I'll cast it out in 15 to 20 foot of water, let it fall maybe 5-10 seconds, and just start slowly reeling it in. I don't fish it on the bottom. I may adjust it a little bit, keep it just off the bottom a little bit. And the same in the ditches. I'm just trying to basically target that zone where I'm seeing most of the activity on my electronics as far as bait fish and schools of shad and that type of stuff. But anyway, guys, that's the 3 that I use right there. Spark Shad, 3-inch Spark Shad, Kitech 2.8, Hasdong Shad. I mix it up between the 2. If I had a situation when I use one over the other, I probably use the Spark Shad if the water visibility is closer to 3 feet, because it's simply a little bit bulkier bait. The Kitech is good all around. I mean, it's in that 3 to 5 foot zone is good. And if the water is really clear and the fishing is really tough, that's when I go to the Hasdong Shad, because it's a lot more finessey. So give them a try, guys. These three swim baits here, they are limit getters. They can catch good ones too. You can catch good Kentuckys, good smallmouth on them, good largemouth. It's just a great bait to throw this time of year, and it will be up until those fish start getting on the bed. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please hit that subscribe button, and we'll see y'all later.